Hey, what's up, guys? So, we are going to do some studying. I am looking for a pencil. I don't know what the hell I did with it. What the hell I did with my pencil? Oh, there it is. Alright, so this is going to be a 30-minute drawing session. So we're going to be working from the drawing form and poses by Tom Fox. Trying to figure out. So last time I did this, I was working on the scapula area. I've been working on doing 10-minute head drawings. I'm going to probably do that later on sometime tonight. But I want to, I'm going to set a timer. But, and then we'll kind of go working in stuff. Guess I'll just do my instrumental. Probably should do my focus. I have different playlists for music for my art. Actually, I'll keep it on this. I like this. So 30 minutes. So with me personally, I've realized that 30 minutes is about as much as I can do when it comes to studying. 30 minutes to an hour is what I'm willing to dedicate to just studying before I just mentally get exhausted and then don't want to do anything else as far as study goes. Like, studying at that point becomes an issue. And I'm hoping you guys can see what I'm drawing here. So I'm drawing this here, working on the shoulder and the chest area. And as much as I am trying to learn from Tom Fox, I know he's working on the planes of the of everything. I'm also trying to find what works best for me. And I think that's going to be hopefully something that I continue to remind myself of, that I can take this information that I'm learning and apply it the best way that it's going to benefit me. So this goes here, and then I feel like this is the back area. And because I've already have some understanding of the anatomy, certain things they have not gone over in the book yet, I'm kind of already aware of, or I have my own way of doing it. Like, I know this hip area is probably off, but that's okay. What I'm trying to focus on is this area here. So this area here is where they have the, I call it the bow tie. And then we have the collarbone, right? And the way I look at the collarbone, I think I mentioned this in a previous video, it's like for me it's like a bike handles. So if this is going up, it's tilting up. So go here. And it's going up on this side too. So I'm going to draw a line here. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's another thing I've been working on. Not feeling like everything has to be perfect here. I am going to erase this because I need to put in the area or the circle for the arms here. And I feel like this is actually be a little bit shorter, only because we have the scapula back here, right? And then there's this part here in the front, and the scapula is back here. So the chest area, so we're going to go here, and then this wraps around here. So it's connected here, and then I think it's going to go back here. I feel like I did it right. And then this here, and then this goes up here. So I'm actually going to draw the other arm here. Because this would be the chest area. Coming out here. And then, because it's kind of wrapping around, so you have this here. And it goes like this. So we're going to do the same thing on this side. And this comes down here. And then depending on everything, I might not see, I feel like I'd see maybe a little bit of the bicep, right off the bicep, the shoulder, deltoid. And then we've got the arm here. And then here, it's a muscle. There's a muscle that connects inside the arm. I forgot the actual name of it. But then you have your traps. That's the lats, sorry, lats. Back area. And then depending on the rib area here, you might have an actual bulge here, the bulge of the muscle, and this would stretch. Depending, everything might be a little bit different if these sucking in the muscle, stuff like that. But it also might be drawn where it's like this, and then maybe overlap here. So it just kind of depends on how you want to draw that. But going back to here, just kind of working on this part. So the picture, you can see you have the deltoid here. And it's funny because I can't really tell what the hell is going on here, but I'm not going to focus on that. Kind of go based on what I know. Like I made the neck too long, but that's okay. And I'm going to leave it at that because I know that this is doesn't have to be an exact copy of the book. That's me taking the understanding of what's trying to be taught here. And honestly, there's not really, they haven't really gone over a lot of this stuff. Like they haven't gone over the back muscles yet, or the arm muscles, or like the buttocks and stuff like that. So if you want to take that information in, you can, but it's not something that has been gone over in the book. Now, it's talking about the trapezius muscle. So, trapezius muscle connects the bottom of the skull to the back and the scapula. It's diamond shaped, provides stability, blase blase, right? That's the information that's given in the book. So, pretty much, I'm going to say this is the, no, if I'm going to do that, I'm going to make this bigger. I'm trying to draw bigger, so I'm not drawing so small. So, actually, I'll do the belly button. And then we're going to divide this into the head and chest, belly button area. Okay, that's about give or take, right? I'm going to probably shorten the head up a little bit. It's okay to make adjustments. Because yeah, from the chest to from the head is one measurement, from the measurement to the bottom of the rib cage, I think. Let me double check. See, when I'm not sure, I'm just going to go ahead and double check. So head, neck, chest, and then this is, like I said, this is the head. And then there's like 2/3. So this is the head. So this will be the pecs here, pectorals, roughly around where they would end, the bottom of them. And then we're going to go 1, 2. Doesn't have to be exact. Then we would have the collarbone. This is the back view, but I'm kind of doing it so that way I know what I'm doing here. And then scapula would be here. And if you're wondering how I know this, or I'm able to sketch it out, like I said, when I did the course, The Structure of Man by Reverend Phoenix, I think I mentioned it at some point. This was something that was, this was something that was taught. And a lot of those formulas have still stayed in my mind, so that's why I'm able to kind of sketch it out the way I am. All right, so this is like the hip area, so we're not going to worry about that too much. But I'll do this to kind of indicate the back side here. All right, so we have the base of the skull here. Bottom of the skull. So the trapezius muscle pretty much connects at the base of the skull here. And what it does, it's connecting to the scapula. Pretty sure it's connecting to the scapula as well as the clavicle, the collarbone. So, because I'm pretty sure it goes here to the scapula here, and I will pull out my my old notes just to make sure, and then it travels along this part here. So the scapula, this is the formula that I was taught in the course by Reverend Phoenix. So. And then you have that bone that comes out here, right? And then there's the frontals, the one on the front that you don't really see. So this is the back view of the scapula. And this is where you would have that socket for the arm, right? All right, so the scapula, or I'm sorry, the trapezius is connecting on this. It's connecting on this bone area here. So, and then it's pretty much coming down, and then it's covering part of that scapula like this. So here, and then before you have it where it turns up, it's totally coming down. Like it's pretty much kind of like just flowing down here. So you would have it connect here, and you still have these muscles connecting down from the base of the neck, right? And of course, it's going to also come down here. And then you would also have the other side, right? So the trapezius, you can think of like a diamond shape. Think of it like here, And I know this isn't the best layout, but it's the best that I can do without having a skeleton to kind of base, or something to kind of base this off of. And then you have like this little line here. I think it's the tendon. I don't know, but it's not muscle here. It's like tendons and stuff, I think. But it's like part where it connects. So you'd have like all this goes down here. And then you would have, of course, goes here. And you would also have, so, I mean, you can look at pictures on how the muscle flows from this trapezius to kind of get a better feel for it. But that's how I'm looking at it. Because this is it's a weird muscle with all the way the muscles and stuff are going. Because it's, like I said, it's hooking from the scapula here, right? But it's also connecting to the base of the skull. Oh my god, what the heck is this? Yeah, it's right. So this is to be the base of the skull here. And then you'd have like the side of the neck or the jawline here. And then you'd have like the arms here. Yeah, this is not done correctly, of course, like to size, because I didn't have anything to start off with. So that's how this is going to go here. And I forgot exactly where it ends on the back. I want to say it comes down here. Let me get my, let me see. Got my old binder here with my old notes. I'm gonna pull it up here. Trapezius muscle. Okay. So hopefully you guys can see it, but this is the trapezius right here. Actually, let me just remove this. Let me see if I actually have a better drawing of the trapezius muscle. Yeah, here we go. I'm just gonna take probably both out. I'll just put it back later. So all of this time that I'm spending really trying to understand it, this is all going into my study time. Study time doesn't necessarily mean just drawing for straight up 30 minutes. It's all about understanding. So as you can see, this is a slice, front view on this side, back view on this side. This is the trapezius muscle here. Goes from here, and it comes down, and then it ends pretty much at the end of the rib cage, and then you have your lats that go under here. As the deltoid, you have the muscles that are connecting the scapula, and like I said, it connects at that base here. So if I had the spine, right, I'm going to roughly draw on the spine, which means I'm going to kind of lightly erase some of this so I can kind of put that in there. So the spine, and I'm not going to do like all the vertebrae and stuff, but I'm just going to kind of do like a basic shape of the spine here. And then you have like the tailbone. And the spine isn't necessarily thinner. This curve right here isn't showing that it's thinner here. What it's showing is that the curve of the spine. So the spine, if I'm going to have the head here, you have it curve out, or it curves in, and then it curves out. And then the tail part area curves in again. So this just shows that it's the curvature, like perspective wise. And this part is this part here. So because it's closer to us, it's going to be a little bit bigger. That's all that's showing. So I have the spine. So we've got here, and then what it's going to do, it's going to fall here. And then along those lines, that's where it's going to probably go. So I'm going to do here. And cascade here. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be like symmetrical on both sides. The human body isn't symmetrical. And then there's, like I said, there's that area where it doesn't necessarily have muscle. I think it might be, I'm just going to go from here, from the spine. So I think that's where, how it does it. It's from the spine area. You have this area here, and then it kind of cuts in and over the spine, but it doesn't, like, it's not on the outside of the spine. And then it kind of goes back in here. So it still covers the spine slightly, I'm pretty sure. Like I said, if you have any questions about it, you can definitely look up a anatomy book. This is just kind of what I was taught and how I remember the muscle, that it still does come over the spine a little bit on this part here. And then what I can do is I can go ahead and erase all this stuff in the inside. And then when we're looking at the muscles here, and I think it's here, but you kind of get that change in the direction of the muscle. Like I said, I don't know exactly on this part. I would have to literally look up the anatomy part, or anatomy book. But that's the back. The front, I'm doing the front view. And I'm just going to do up to the chest area, which means I only have to divide this into 2 parts, actually. Look at me out here measuring. All right, so doing the head here. And whether my 30 minutes are up on this, I'm not gonna care. I want to get this part done. I'm gonna have to refresh on some of the facial features and stuff, on how to lay that stuff in. Oh. It's been so long since I've done it that way. I know, like, the different planes and stuff on the head. I'm not gonna do all that, but All right. I know this isn't important, but it's for this particular study, but I want to try to get as much done of this drawing as I can. All right, there we go. All right, so this is the chest area. Rib cage will go down slightly, so we're going to do one. So this is the clavicle area. Rib cage, got another. The widest part of the rib cage would be here. Ooh, that's, I feel like that's too wide. So here, yeah, half a head, I would say. I feel like that's still too wide. Whatever. This needs to just be roughed in. Because we're just working on the trapezia, so all of this is not really going to matter. All right, so spine area is coming down here. Collarbone. All right, that's my timer going off. All right. So yeah, don't get, you see like people who have like, oh, I'm going to do a study, and like they do like a 30-minute study, or everyone studies differently. This is how I'm studying. So however you study is however you study. And if it takes you an hour to get or even one thing done, as long as you're understanding it, you're processing it, instead of just drawing it and not knowing what you're drawing, as long as you're understanding what you're doing and actually taking the information in, that's all that matters. So trapezius. All right, so coming from the back, right? So now, mind you, I drew the circle in so you know where the base of the skull is, right? So I'm gonna act like I'm gonna draw through. So I'm drawing through here, and then I'm coming through here. I'm gonna go down a little bit more, and this is how it connects, because it's connecting to the scapula, right? Or the collarbone. And it's also connected to the scapula, but this is the front area. This is how it's connecting to the front. So I'm going to show you guys right here. It is connecting to the front of the collarbone. So it's wrapping around to the front. Is the best way I can describe it in a way. So it's part of it's connecting to the scapula, and then part of it's also connecting to the clavicle. So it's wrapping around on the front side, and then there's a part of it that I want to say about halfway on the clavicle, it's wrapping it back around to the back area. So I want to say, like, think of it, it's going to be hard to explain. But there's a part that kind of comes here and then kind of wraps back around to the back. And I'll do it here too. So about halfway, and it kind of wraps around. So I'm going to take this. I know I did the draw through, but I'm going to erase this part here because I no longer need it. But it wraps around like that to connect to the clavicle. And then once again, you know, it'll drop back down here. Back here, you wouldn't see this part, of course, from the front, but this is how it's connecting from the front. And like I said, I'll bring this up here again so you can kind of see it. This right here and here, that's the trapezius muscle. Boom, right there, and then right there. Now, I know if we're talking about like forms, because I know that's the thing that Tom Fox is talking about. Breaking everything down in forms to where you had this like really these block figures. I guess because I haven't learned this way, trying to learn how Tom Fox is going over certain things is actually becoming frustrating, and I'm not sure in a helpful way. Not that I don't like the book teaches a lot. But like an example, like the trapezius muscle, because of how complex I will say this particular muscle is, to try to break it all down, I want to say is the word, into these block-like forms. Because I'm going to see if I can draw this real quick on like how he breaks it down. So I'm going to there are definitely some things that I appreciate with Tom Fox's drawing, learning style. Like the head, like how he's taught the head has definitely been beneficial for me. I will definitely admit that. But there are certain things where you just have to find your own way, I guess, is the on doing it. And I'm trying to figure out, like, I'm trying to draw it how he's trying to draw it, and my own way, I guess, but I like having those layouts here. I'm trying to do it as if I'm picturing it in my head. The shoulder would be here, which means the chest would be here. Scapula would be here. I'm gonna have to draw the shoulder in so I know what the heck I'm doing here, because this will be the chest area. Looks like he's got boobs. And then we'd have the shoulder, because you'd have the deltoid here, which would end where the or on the chest area. And then you have the deltoid that actually connects to the scapula back here. And then you would have the triceps, sorry. All right, so you'd have this area here. You'd have the scapula that, this is the way I've learned. So I know the scapula like it has that curve because it's curving with the rib cage. So this is kind of like a hybrid of kind of, I'm trying to remember what Tom Fox is doing, but also what I know from The Structure of Man. So I'm not going to sit here and have this like box like, I mean I could if I wanted to, this box like structure of the scapula, because if I did, then this would go here and then this would kind of go straight down how he has it, and then you'd have a line here. But I'm not going to do all that. I'm going to keep this here, but I'm not going to I'm not doing all that. Sorry. This is the way I'm comfortable learning it, so that's how I'm going to do that part. But so how he has the traps is, because you'd have it here, and then you'd have the second part that's going to flow out towards the other side of the neck here, right? So how he has it, see, of course, he has the base of the skull here. And this is where I can say I like the illustration, because like say you have the clavicle, right? The collarbone. This kind of shows how that wraps around, right? He has this part here, and then it comes here, and then it kind of goes because the way this kind of curves, right? If you're actually because we already talked about how this actually curves around. So this actually connects, and then it's following that curve around to the scapula, and then it drops down here, right? And on the other side, it's kind of got that going on here, where it's like here, and then it's like here, and then you wouldn't see the other part. So I'm gonna take this part here, and I'm going to do like a larger image. So you have like the collarbone, and then you have the clavicle that, remember, it's kind of curving, right? Because remember, he's got this going on here. And then because the way he has it set up, let me do it this way. Let me actually do the how he has it with the actual planes here. And like you have a that's why it's kind of hard for me to kind of do it the way he's kind of got it going, because I'm not used to it being this way. But yeah, that's the best I can do, right? So the way this is going here, you have it connecting to the collarbone, and then it's following that curve, and then it connects to the scapula, and then it follows it all the way down here. It's the best way I can think of it, right? So, but the way he has it, instead of these smooth lines, he's got the planes, right? So his more simplified plane is to take this, and we're gonna divvy this up here. So I'm going to go here and here. So you've got this part. And this kind of goes back here. And then you've got a part here. It kind of breaks this into a smaller area. And then it starts widening out. And I feel like this is too wide. I can fix that later. I do this, I erase it a little bit. And then, so like where this part here connects, he's got this going here. And then this here. And that might make sense to someone, and that's cool. And then that part right here where it's connecting to the front, it's its own separate plane, which makes sense. And then it comes to the back area. So this plane though comes out here, because this is going to be that spine area. And then this connects here, which makes sense. And of course, since it's wrapping around to the other side, you'll have that part. And then you have like where this would both like stick out the most. And then it's coming around and wrapping here. So it's this part. I'm assuming it's this part, because if this is the clavicle, I'm assuming it's this part. This would be like the main area here. And then this part is this right here. And then of course it's because it's wrapping around here. You get that side. And then this part here, he's actually just putting in as this long line here. And then of course perspective wise. And then there's a connecting part from the middle of this here to down here, but it doesn't go all the way down, so it's like that. And then he breaks it down even more complex with breaking these down into smaller planes to kind of get the real feel of this concave feeling that's going on with it. So how I think I'm going to be changing how I use the Tom Fox Draws book a little bit. Don't get me wrong, I think it's very useful. But I think how I'm going to have to work with it to understand versus just copying is, like I said, since I've worked on how the muscles, for the most part, function or look naturally, in quotations, naturally, and instead of like this blocky feel to it, I'm gonna have to take what I know, how the muscle looks naturally, and then probably do an overlay and breaking it up into planes to see if that will most likely help my understanding of it. So what I might do on my next video is do this again, but do it with the muscle in this form. And this may or may not be on camera, I don't know. And then after I lay down the muscle part, take like a colored pencil, and then lay in the I'm trying to find it. Sorry, guys. Okay, I thought I could have sworn it was when I did something like that with. But like take colored pencil and then lay in like here, and then lay in the actual planes, because that's what I did with the rib cage to help me better understand. Like I know how to draw the rib cage, but I could not grasp it really with the block form even still now, I still struggle with it. So it's easier for me to actually just draw the rib cage as a circle. I think for me, and like I said, this is just kind of at the moment, I think for me, when it comes to using like circles and stuff like that, it's gonna be more helpful for me to understand like the direction that I'm looking to have something go. So like if I'm drawing a rectangle, I know this is the front of the face, and then if I want the body to be the same, or maybe tilt the body, say I'll have the head turned, so maybe the torso is this way. So I know this is here, and then maybe that can help me lay in. I know that's not proportioned correctly either, but that can help me lay a rough sketch of everything that way. Because if his neck would be going here, and doing it that way versus like some people who will literally draw in the whole square, and then maybe like this would be the hip area, and then be like, okay, well, I know this is the hip, so here's my hip area. I know that's connect here, that's going to connect here, and then I can go ahead and start laying down the figure. So I might have to do it that way versus what some people normally see when people lay down these box mannequins and then build within that. I'm gonna have to find what works best for me versus what I'm normally seeing and trying to fit into that, no pun intended, fitting into that box of what everyone else is doing. So that's it for right now. Hope you guys have enjoyed the study session with me, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.